Hello, everybody, and welcome back to another episode of Big Biggy's Theory. Yeah, I know it's been a while since I've done an episode, haven't I? Yeah, I've been pushing it back just a bit, and I apologize for that first off, because it's really, to make a long story short and to not get into details, something came up and it needed my full attention. And I've been putting this off for a while, even though I've been wanting to talk about it, but I just really haven't had the energy to do it because of the thing that was going on. So, but all in all, everything's going good now. So, I'm finally back in front of you guys, all five of you, to be able to talk about two movies. I'm gonna make this a bit of a two-parter. I'm not gonna make this a long-ass episode, because believe me, I got a lot to say about this one movie in particular. The other one, not so much, but I think it'd still be quicker just to do another episode on this. So, today I will be talking about both The World's End and Riddick. So, I'll start off with the movie that I checked out a couple of weeks ago, The World's End. Now, I've been a big fan. I'm a big fan of Simon Pegg and Nick Frost and Edgar Wright. When those three come together for a film, I always look forward to it. It's actually really thanks to my good friend Sam Donnelly who introduced me to these guys in a way, because he was, at the time when I was starting to get to know the guy, he was the one that introduced me to Shaun of the Dead. I had no idea what this movie was at all, because I wasn't much of a film buff as I am right now. And I first saw the trailer for it, or the poster for it actually, and I just looked at it, I'm just like, really? Is this a parody of of a zombie movie now? Really? Whatever. And then I actually checked the movie out myself, because he was the one that got me to want to go check it out when it came out on DVD, and it surprised the hell out of me. It made me a huge fan of not only Simon Pegg, Nick Frost, and Edgar Wright, but it made me a big fan of British comedy to begin with. Now, I never really had a huge big thing with British comedy before. Like, the only thing I ever saw that was British comedy was Monty Python. And even back then, as much as I adore it now, back then I wasn't really much of a fan of it. So when I got into British comedy, when I finally got into it, I started watching more of not just Monty Python, but I also got into space, and then it also got me into more British dramas that goes on, like Doctor Who and science fiction and all that kind of stuff. And and I adore everything that is British comedy. I thoroughly enjoy it. Is something that I can always come back to and have a smile on my face, and that's what happens with the trilogy, the Cornetto Trilogy. And to give a quick summary of what I think about the past two movies, Shaun of the Dead, one of my all-time favorite comedies. I can watch that movie for days, and I will still find something to have a laugh at. Hot Fuzz was, again, a great movie. I thoroughly enjoy this movie because it not only kind of satires like action films in general, but also the foreshadowing of said action movies. Everything that you see in that movie is a great thing of foreshadowing. It's such a great movie. So I was really looking forward to seeing The World's End. I was so ecstatic for it. Like, every poster I saw of it, every still shot I've seen of behind the scenes stuff, I was excited. And then they didn't bring it over here to my local theater. Yeah. I am not when it comes to my local theater, I can't really say that I can defend it. As much as I go there every single weekend and see a movie, I really just cannot stand that place. I really can't. And I know that says a lot for me, for somebody who goes to a movie every weekend and goes to just that place. Believe me, if I had a choice to go to another theater, I would go to another theater instead of this one. Problem is, that's the only theater we have. And yeah, they don't necessarily bring a lot of outside things in here. They don't bring a lot of British comedies. The only time they'll ever show something that's from Simon Pegg and Nick Frost was Paul. And the only reason why they brought that here was because it was Seth Rogen. People recognize Seth Rogen, so they know it's going to be a funny movie. And the only time they ever brought an Edgar Wright film was Scott Pilgrim vs. the World. And believe me, I don't regret them ever bringing it here, but that was the only time they ever actually brought an Edgar Wright film here. So what I had to do in order to see this great movie was to go all the way to Columbus, which is like a 2-hour drive. And you might be thinking that that's really stupid. Why would you waste your gas money on just to go all the way to another little county and just go there to a theater just to watch one movie? It's just the way that I am. I can't really explain it anymore because that's just the way I am. I love going to the movies, and if it's a movie that I really want to see and I don't want to wait till it comes out on DVD, I'm going to see it no matter what, unless I have no other choice. So yeah, I went all the way to Columbus in order to watch it, and 2-hour drive, went there, sat down. What did I think of it? It was fucking great! Oh my god, this movie was fucking fantastic. Everything from the script, from the comedy to the fight choreography, to Simon Pegg, to Nick Frost, to Edgar Wright, to Martin Freeman, to everything about this movie was fucking fantastic. I cannot express how much I had such an enjoyment from this movie. I'm not the one person to go to any comedy film and have a laugh and everything. I mean, I'll have a smile or I'll do a chuckle, but that's about it. This is a movie that I went to the theater and I laughed my ass off. This movie absolutely worked for me in terms of comedy, but as a science fiction movie, it is fantastic. Why does it work as a science fiction movie? Well, to put it in a quick into a plot summary, the movie is about these 5 guys going to five guys. Sorry, these 5 guys go into a little town that they used to grow up in. Like back in the 90s, they wanted to do this thing called the pub crawl, where you go to 12 of the little pubs in this little town, and you go all the way to the World's End, which is a bar, and you get yourself like just ingrained in the little town's history as being the people that actually drank through every single pub that you went to. But when they were teenagers, they didn't exactly make it. They were pretty exhausted by the end of the night, so they just said, no, we can't do this. Simon Pegg's character, Simon Pegg comes back and gets all of his friends together and wants to do the pub crawl one more time. He wants to relive those memories again, and Nick Frost is one of his friends who is a businessman, a very smart businessman, and that was different for me because in the past movies, Nick Frost has always been that kind of guy that's always been the obnoxious. He's either like a stoner, a drug dealer, or he's just an idiot who watches way too many action movies. But he has that heart in him that makes you love the guy. In this movie, he's a businessman and he's very serious. While at the other hand, Simon Pegg is a bit of an asshole. He's a guy that takes full advantage of everybody that he's around with. He will steal he will try to take your car. He will use your name as he will give you back money from somebody who actually gave him money, and he will never pay the other guy back. He's one of those kind of guys, and in this movie you kind of feel for the guy because of what he's going through. I'm not going into spoilers because I want you guys to go see this movie, but what goes on through this movie is one of the most touching moments in movies, and I've seen in movies for a while. Everything from the script, from the location, from the casting to the fight choreography in this movie is fan-fucking-tastic. I had a huge blast with this movie. And its message is something really striking to me. It makes you really think. And that's what I love about Edgar Wright films, is because not only is it a great comedy, but it can also have this thing in you where you can just go down to an emotional level and you can either judge for yourself whether you like it or not, especially towards the ending, which, again, no spoilers, but the way it ended was completely like something I wasn't expecting at all. But the way they showed it, the way they talked about it, it fit in so perfectly. This movie was so worth the drive. I honestly am really happy about this movie. I cannot think of any faults with it at all. I cannot wait till it comes out on Blu-ray. If they have the Cornetto Trilogy on Blu-ray, I am so gonna get it, because this trilogy to me shows that comedies nowadays can work if you put some effort into it, if you put some thought into it, instead of just mindless dick jokes and sex jokes or whatever, or just doing it for just the sake of gross out comedy or something. Those can work if you do it right. The Cornetto Trilogy is a great example of how comedies can be done right. So I can't really think of anything else to talk about this movie, because I don't want to spoil it for you guys. I want you, if you have a chance, if you have it in your local theater, go check out this movie. I highly recommend this movie. This is not only one of my favorite comedies of the year, probably the best comedy of the year for me, but it is one of the best movies of 2013 by far. I cannot recommend this movie enough. If you can, go check this out. It is well worth the time and effort. Get your friends together, and hell, if you can, go out and go onto a pub crawl yourself, because it sounds like a lot of fun. Hell, I want to go on a pub crawl one day. So if any of my friends are watching this, I am down for a pub crawl one weekend. Just give me a call. Bingy is all up for it. So that's about it. That's about it about The World's End. So stay tuned for part 2, where I'm going to be talking about Riddick.